Good evening, everyone. I'm Kubrali, and you're watching Awaz News. Tonight, I'll be taking you to top news across Canada.
Driver escapes, injury after chunk of debris slams through windshield on Highway 400. What Ontario parents need to know about curriculum changes coming in September. Parents must be fully involved in students' decision to change pronouns, Ontario Education Minister says. Man facing 136 charges after 28 handguns found in Toronto hotel room. TTC to boost service using $60 million in savings from delayed Eglinton Crosstown opening. Police identified Toronto man charged with murder in death of woman at Richmond Hill residence. Suspicious package at Union Station deemed safe.
These were the headlines, and now let's go through the details.
A driver was uninjured after flying debris crashed through their windshield while on a major highway in Toronto. According to Ontario Provincial Police, the incident took place in the southbound lanes of Highway 400 near Finch Avenue. Officials say that debris from a commercial motor vehicle struck the passenger vehicle's windshield, hitting the steering wheel before landing on the passenger seat. Few details are available, but photos posted to social media show what appears to be a large metal mechanical fragment. The debris takes up the majority of the seat. Fortunately, there were no injuries to the driver, OPP said. OPP say they are still investigating the incident. An Ottawa man is facing more than 100 charges after 28 handguns were found in a hotel room in North York, Toronto police say. According to investigators, a staff member at a North York hotel was cleaning a room on afternoon of August 21st when they found 3 firearms. The employee alerted hotel management, who then notified police of the discovery. Steve Watts of the Organized Crime Enforcement Unit told reporters on Monday morning. The hotel room was sealed and another 25 firearms were located in the room by officers following the execution of search warrant, Watts said. Toronto police said officers found 20 Glock pistols, 4 Springfield Armory pistols, 3 Smith & Wesson pistols, and 1 6R pistol. A suspect identified by investigators as Ahmed Farah, a 30-year-old Ottawa resident, faces 136 charges, including 28 counts of possession of a restricted or prohibited firearm without holding a license. All but one of the charges Farah faces are firearm-related offenses. Investigators are working to determine the origin of the guns, and Watts said some have been linked to the southern U.S. Watts called the seizure significant, adding that Toronto police have seized 382 guns to date in 2023. He said 1,301 guns have been seized in Ontario this year. Watts said that he would like to commend the hotel employee who reported the discovery to police. We cannot do our job without the public's assistance, and this is a perfect example of the assistance, Watts said. A number of changes are coming to Ontario schools starting in September. Students heading back to class in fall will explore a new language curriculum, a new technology course, and learn about mental health. This is what you need to know about changes for the 2023-24 academic year. New language curriculum. Students between grades 1 and 9 will begin learning a new language curriculum that puts a focus on time-tested practices such as phonics, cursive writing, digital literacy, word processing, and critical thinking skills. New grade 10 digital tech class. Instead of taking a computer studies course, grade 10 students will study digital technology and innovations in the changing world. Mental health modules. New mental health modules will be launched on September 9th for students in grades 7 and 8 as part of the health and physical education curriculum. Math supports. After overhauling the math curriculum in 2020, the government is investing an additional $71 million to boost math performance through the use of math action teams, which will be deployed to priority schools and boards to improve math achievements. Additional funding for reading. The province has committed $109 million for reading, which can be used in part to hire specialist teachers who can work one-on-one or in small groups to help students with their reading. The investment can also be used to fund early reading screening tools and third-party expert resources. Police in York region have released the name of a man charged with murder in connection with the death of a woman at a Richmond Hill residence on Friday. On August 25th at around 6:35 p.m., police were called to an address on Taylor Mills Drive South for a welfare check. Responding officers found an adult male at the residence who required medical attention and was transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, police said in a press release issued Monday. An adult female was located inside the home who was pronounced deceased at the scene. The male, identified as 35-year-old Danny Martin of Toronto, has been charged with second-degree murder. The victim and the accused were known to each other and had previously been in a relationship, according to police. Police say the victim's identity is not being released at this time at the request of their family. Investigators are asking anyone with additional information to contact York Regional Police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Ontario's Education Minister said he believes parents must be fully involved if their child chooses to use a different pronoun at school. The comments were made at a news conference on Monday morning, where Stephen Lecce was outlining the changes students and parents can expect at Ontario schools come September. They also come as Saskatchewan adopts a new gender and pronoun policy, joining New Brunswick in legislating parental consent for students under the age of 16 who want to change their given names and pronouns at school. Lecce prefaced this by saying that schools should be safe for all children. He noted that teachers and school boards take home environments into account where there are exceptional circumstances or situations of potential harm to the child. The minister would not say if this were something his government would legislate, saying only that this was the province's position on the matter. The new poll by Angus Reid, released Monday, which surveyed 3,016 Canadian adults online, suggests that about 43% of Canadians believe parents should both be informed and give consent if a child wants to change how they are identified within a school setting. In Ontario, 43% of survey respondents said parents must both be informed and give consent of an identity change, while 34% said parents should simply be informed. About 60% of respondents said it should solely be up to the child. The Toronto District School Board currently has a policy that protects the privacy of transgender and gender non-conforming students, recognizing that some children may not be open about their identity at home. It notes that a school should never disclose a student's gender, non-conformity, or transgender status to the student's parents, guardian, caregivers without the student's explicit prior consent. The policy says that school staff should consult the student as to how to identify them when communicating with their guardian. School boards in Saskatchewan have asked the province to pause its gender and pronoun policy in order to allow for a complete review and report prior to implementation, arguing it could have safety risks and could violate child rights. The TTC says that it is boosting service, particularly bus service, back to almost pre-pandemic levels in Toronto as the school year gets set to begin. Starting in September, overall TTC service hours will return to 93% of pre-pandemic levels, rising to 95% in November. But bus service will return to 99% of the pre-pandemic levels. The move is being accomplished by using some of the $60 million in operating money which had been set aside for Line 5 for this year. The line, which was supposed to be complete by the end of the last year, is still under construction with no clear timeline for its completion. TTC Chair Jamal Mears said a good share of improvements will bolster service in Scarborough, where the transit riders have been hit hard by the closure of Line 3 several months early due to derailment, which finally put a nail in the coffin for the troubled line. While the TTC is creating dedicated bus lanes on existing roads in the meantime, a dedicated busway in the path of the RT would save about 20 minutes a day on a return trip for riders until the Scarborough subway extension is built in several years. Chow said that adds up to almost 2 hours a week for a regular commuter, and said the city will find a way to pay for estimated $60 million cost of the subway. While the changes will bring overall service back to 95% of pre-pandemic levels, Xiao said she is still optimistic that she will be able to keep her campaign promise of fully restoring TTC service to pre-pandemic levels. Asked whether the service improvements could be rolled back once the LRT does come into service and the operating money is needed for it, Chow said she hates rolling anything back and hopes that council will find a way to continue to fund the improvements. Toronto police say they examined a suspicious package at Union Station on Monday afternoon and deemed it safe, ending an hour-long shutdown at the busy transit hub. In a post to X, formerly known as Twitter, shortly after 3 p.m., police said they were called to the station at around 2:40 p.m. for reports of a suspicious package. A portion of the station was shut down and one person was taken into custody as a result of the investigation, according to police. It's unclear whether or not the individual remains in custody. Police said officers also assisted via rail staff in safely escorting passengers off a train that was at the station as the Great Hall was closed to pedestrian traffic. Via Rail says that regular train service is resuming but is warning passengers of significant delays in the coming hours. All areas of the station, as well as roads in the area that were closed due to investigation, are set to reopen shortly, police say.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Until then, good night.